Hi, good evening to everyone. Again, we are entering into your last day of Organic Terrace Gardening series session 7, day 7. See, we have all covered the major topics in all these days about organic terrace gardening, major components, how we can make use of it. That we are going to sum it up and we are going to cover it up everything in a first minute. And I'm going to share all assets, links, and whatever the things you are needed for setting up your organic terrace gardening. Welcome to day 7. Congratulations. You have reached the final session of the 7-day organic terrace gardening guide. Today, we will bring together everything that you have learned to help you to build and maintain your first organic terrace gardening for the beginners. For the already experienced person, this will have your wrap up session. The session focuses on mainly implementation, long-term care, and scaling up of your garden. All points we will cover one by one so that you will make use of it. So we will go to that. See, step by step guide to setting up your terrace gardening. What you are going to see. Prepare the terrace garden. We have seen all these days, 6 days, each and every topic covering what we should have to do. That we will just sum it up. Prepare your terrace. Ensure the terrace waterproof and have proper drainage and clean the space. Arrange containers, leaving pathways for easy access. And for more information, we can have control. We can see the first day lesson. See, in that lesson, we have covered majorly observing all those patterns and space accommodation, designing of the terrace garden, what kind of plants we can do. So that is called prepare the terrace. Second day, we have covered majorly planters and containers. Use a mix of pots, grow bags, and recycled items like old tubs or buckets. And we have covered all types of containers, all types of planter boxes, how it can be used, what sizes we should have to use. We have shared all assets also in that respect, what kind of containers, what size of containers should be used for each and every crop, vegetables, and fruits and fruit trees. So that is more useful for you. You just make note of it and make use of it, and accordingly you do it. And place containers on bricks or stands to allow airflow and prevent waterlogging. We have discussed about how you can avoid waterlogging, or how you can avoid the dampness in the terrace floor by keeping drain mats. We have also shared these drain mat links and stand links so that you can buy stands, and nowadays available of movable with wheel stands are also available, that you can make use of it. And you have seen arranged containers. And third, we can see filling of containers with soil mix. This is the third day. We have seen what kind of soil mix we should use, what kind of composting we can do, how we can make a kitchen waste into composting. And we have also shared a soil mix preparation manual, how what kind of mixes you should have to use for each and every crops, what kind of soil types are available, how you can make use of within your local available soil mix, and how it can be mixed with the manure and the cocoa peat. Everything we have observed, so prepare that also. This is third step. And fourth step, selection of seeds and seedlings. That also I have shared the sowing season and what kind of seeds we should use. Types of seeds we have seen, hybrid seeds and heirloom seeds and the GMO seeds or organic seeds. We should not use F2 hybrid, hybrid second generation seeds. We should not use it, and how the seed treatment should be done, and how we can prevent by which the diseases and pests, and how the sowing should be happen. We in the sowing season guide itself, we have shown what are all the spacing should be maintained in between the plants. In that way you can keep your containers in the distance, and you can have grouping of plants depending upon the type of growing pattern or type of plants. And we have covered correct depth and spacing also. Depth also we have mentioned. In thumb rule also we have given one particular thumb rule is in that should be you should plant or dip the seed double the size of seed, and how the seeds should be treated, everything we have covered. And we have also covered uh, how we can develop a nursery in seed trays, and how those seed trays should be selected, how they should be maintained, how they should be filled with like growing media, and how it should can be controlled with pest and diseases occurrence. That also we have covered. So transplant seedlings in a right time is more important. By that way we can have better control of mortality of seedlings. So that we have covered as a fourth day session. On fifth day session, fifth lesson, we have considered all watering systems and sunlight management. That is also a major subject we should have to have in our mind before setting up of our garden. What kind of watering system we should use, how we should water, and what plant, how much water we should pour, everything we have discussed. And we have discussed how it can be controlled automatically with irrigation system and semi irrigation system, or we can make use of watering can and hose pipes, and how it should be watered, everything we have discussed. Along with that is sunlight management, where we should keep the plants like full sunlight plants, loving plants, and partial shade loving plants and shade loving plants, everything we discussed about setting up of net and shade net and barriers also. That also you should have to have considered. And on day 6, we is lesson 6, session 6, we have considered how we should have to have pest and disease management, and how the layout should be organized, because based on the our companion plants and pest and disease management, what crops we are going to cover, in which stage they are, accordingly you have to group the plants, keep the plants, and you can have screens and even better preventive measures also. In that way we have covered all pest and diseases management. And we have discussed about how we can make use of predator insects which eats on our pests and diseases, by which it helps us. All these we have discussed. With that we have covered all 6 days important lesson. All assets and everything have been shared with you. And as a last day or last session, seventh day, I will also share the compiled checklist, compiled product links, and compiled assets. What are all we have discussed, everything we have, we will share it to you. So I hope that we have covered all what we can say topics in detailed manner. As a beginner or as a expert of organic terrace gardening, you might be knowing all these concepts and components of the terrace gardening. By this way all along you would have done as such, but now as a horticultural knowledge I have shared so much of things, it will be more helpful for your planning and execution of organic terrace gardening. And you see other things we are going to cover is maintenance tips for a best garden. These are all basic thumb rule maintenance tips, how we can do maintain those terrace garden with proper ease. Daily care, I always advise you people, you do uh, visit yourself rather engaging malis or labors. Yourself you are visiting, you can observe, you can have very good like contact with the plants, so plants will also love it, you can also love it. Whole effect of terrace gardening you can able to get it. That is watering plants early in the morning or late in the evening. I will give you regarding this, like in the daytime or sunny time, you should not water it. And again, whenever you are doing watering in the morning hour or evening hours, that too in a winter season, don't water by pouring all over the plants, because that may create bit of like space for developing of these powdery mildew diseases. But summer and all, you can very well water whole plants if you are having good water source with hose pipe. The plants will be very much lush and they will also very clean and neat. Second thing, check for pest and diseases regularly. See, every day when you are doing watering, before watering, you just go around the plants and see, touch it, feel it, and observe what kind of differences you are seeing comparing with previous day, so that you can observe any occurrences. At the initial stage itself, we can have better control of pest and diseases. And fertilizing schedule. Regarding the fertilizer, we have discussed so many things. As far as organic terrace garden is concerned, we are going to use majorly organic inputs only. In that organic inputs also, in soil mix management itself, we have got what ratios we should use: organic component, coco peat, and native soil. If native soils are there, what kind of thing we should use. And along with that, we have discussed to add wood ash, we have discussed about adding mm, we have discussed about adding bone meal and eggshell powder for this thing. And in the earlier stage itself, we have discussed about adding up of the epsom salt. Those kind of nutrient management, we should have to have a proper schedule. You should not over fertilize it, or you should not, because even though it's organic, if you are overusing it, there should not be any use, only you will incur expenses. So prepare a proper schedule of fertilizing, how we have to do it. For that, apply organic liquid fertilizer like compost tea. Already we discussed how the compost tea is nothing but it's a filtration of your compost kit. When it would be wet, you just wash it with water and keep that washed water as a compost tea. Or vermi wash. Vermi wash normally you will get in the market, whosoever they are producing vermicompost. Those things you can add every 2 weeks. And solid compost like vermicompost or neem cakes, or what we can say, regular organic manure, whichever it is available, your kitchen garden compost. And those kind of things you can add. Panchakavya you can add, Jivamirdam. So much of things are there. Those things are normally for commercial cultivation, they can use it. For your organic terrace gardening, if you have the scope, you have time, you can make prepare and you can make use of it as a cyclically. You don't need to apply every day. Once in 10 days application is more than enough. And uh, pruning and cleaning, that is more important to maintain garden health. To control pest and diseases, we should have to have proper removal of dead leaves, and weeds should be removed. Every time garden should be kept very neat, and soil base, root zone area should be properly tilled with the forks, and the proper aeration should be given to the root zone. That is more important. And rotating crops, same plants, you don't use it in the same container, we discussed already. And again, crop rotation, this time, if you are keeping one plant on particular area, you just to rotate the place and keep the space in different spaces, and keep different containers and different varieties properly, so that by that way you can have cropping rotation. And season specific plants or vegetables, if you are using, means you will be getting more yield and less occurrence of pest and diseases. Vertical gardening. We have discussed during the container time itself. I have also shared these trellis and all vertical system, how it can be for gourds and other flowers varieties. You can develop trellis on railing area. Also, you can develop these kind of plants so that you can make space very effectively, and it will act as a screens also. So gourds, cucumbers, beans, and climbing flowers, you can make use of it. And second thing, when you are started and gaining experience, you can start like introduce a kind of fruit trees, like we discussed, papaya, guava, pomegranate, those kind of lemon. These you can start cultivating in your organic terrace gardening. This will be make useful and beneficial to you. And seasonal crops, we discussed this. Plan your garden based on our Indian season conditions. Accordingly, use vegetable varieties, flowers, considering the season, and follow our chart. We have already shared those charts. Accordingly, you can have, and you can keep on improve. You observe, you do it, you observe it, take the lesson, and take the guidance of our series session, and you do develop yourself. You yourself can get better idea. You can do very well. This is second thing. And in long term sustainability, I would recommend to set up any water harvesting setup in your terrace itself for effective storage of those water from rain, and you can make use of it, recycle it, and you can also have kind of fish tubs, everything, make use of it. And that also we will cover it up later if time permits. And you can use for this irrigation, and continuously use natural remedies like neem oil and companion planting over a period of time. If you have set up the system in your terrace, normally those pest and disease occurrence will be very much minimized. You cannot eradicate, but it will be minimized. So all these activities, whatever we discussed regarding organic control, prevention, and other methods, companion planting, and organic pesticides, whatever we discussed, that you keep on do, and natural pest control will be there in your ecosystem, within your the micro ecosystem of your terrace gardening. Composting, yeah, we discussed already. Maintain a compost bin to recycle kitchen waste in your garden itself. You can make use of those, and I advise you to properly complete those composting cycle, then use it. The semi compost compost will definitely damage your plants, so be careful on that. And here we have I'm just showing what kind of terrace gardening we can set up. All stands, these are all pp bags, minor pp bags, that you can make use of it. And here you can see with stand, movable stand, drain mat with grow bags, it is grown. And one more thing, in commercially also you can do develop your terrace gardening. If you have a bit of time, rather passion, you can set up kind of mini, we have already discussed, we can have many greenhouse kind of things, bit little controlled atmospheric. Slowly you can add it up. You can grow microgreens, you can grow exotic vegetables if you can able to control temperature, or during winter time, lettuce, celeries, and cabbage varieties. You just to see the climate condition, needed temperature, you can plan very well, and you can sell your nearby markets or star hotels. You can get a return, good yield returns, and by monetary benefit also, if you are planning well and setting up. But don't burn your fingers. You just plan and start in a small way. If it is getting success, you can expand and you can do it very well. There are lots of people have commercially successful on that, so you just plan on that slowly. And this is actually, I wanted to show this. This is actually kind of what we can say, hydroponic setup. Some of our associates have developed. You see, plants are grown in the pots. In the bottom layer, we are running with water, It's a kind of, we can say, semi hydroponic system. It has succeeded well. That's why I said we can have a separate lesson or session about hydroponics. We can share what are all maximum success, possible successful hydroponic system without incurring much expenses. This is just setting up grow bag with the proper what we can say irrigation setup, and growing of banana in the terrace. And this is another permanent setup of organic terrace gardening with irrigation, and got yield from organic terrace gardening. And as we have come to an end of this session, all checklist and guides and methods we have already discussed, the sowing methods, sowing season, and container, everything we discussed. No, all those things I have actually shared with a particular link that I will share along with this video in description also, and our community group also. So you can download from those things. And all products, tools list, whichever tools and products we discussed, we can get it from online. Those things I have enlisted. Make use of it. Check with the local vendor also. If price and quality you can match it up in local, buy it, or otherwise you make use of this and get those things before you are starting that thing. Starting terrace gardening, you can set up very well the garden. And uh, this is the final session, so I would recommend you just to try to set up your container. Just to get a container, if you're a beginner, get a container, fill it with soil mix, whatever the steps we discussed, try to implement it. Okay, second thing, if you're a experienced or already tried gardener, you can just observe the sunlight, as we have discussed, continuous practical experiences. You can plan and how you are going to accommodate those, what are all, what is your size of terrace, and what things you have done, and what plants or crop, vegetables or fruits you are going to planning to plant on terrace gardening. And you derive a plan or diagram accordingly. Just share it. If you have any doubts, you can reach us. And regarding question and answer, we will also share a Google form. You just fill, you just go through all the videos, whatever your questions are there, you just fill it, and I will answer on daily basis some 5-10 questions, so that you all make use of it. Everyone will learn different perspectives. And all our earlier questions we have been discussing from the day one, most of the questions are raised by pest and disease management and nutrient management and this setup grow bag sizes. I think all things have been covered in that. So almost everybody's questions have been covered in all these 6 to 7 days session. If at all you are having, you just raise a question with respect to this series, so that I can able to answer once in a one or 10 or 15, sorry, 5 to 10 questions on every day. That will also share it with you in the community, so it will be useful for you, for others also. So, what I'm trying to say is, in whatever the assets list in a single page list with all links, I am going to share it with you. My team will share in wait after some time. So you just go through it, and I have also shared our WhatsApp number, helpline WhatsApp number, email ID. If you have any specific clarifications or material, or if you want to have further development with regard to the gardening or landscaping, anything is there, you just reach us, and we will happy to help you out. Okay, with that, we are ending this session. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for all your patience for all these lessons. And go through it repeatedly, go through it, and almost we have covered everything. You just go from beginning also, take notes, and if any questions or these things are there, you just make note of it. The question, you raise the question in the Google form shared, we will answer periodically. So I think this would be more useful to you. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.